Following Super Bowl 60, Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald praising the 12s. This win wasn't about revenge. It was about this team, and he can't wait to bring that trophy home to Seattle. The Washington State women got past their first hurdle in the hunt for a WCC championship. That hurdle was a Pacific team that wouldn't go away without a fight. Now their attention turns to Portland, a team looking for their third conference championship in a row and their third win over the Cougars this season. We get the chance to speak with coaches and athletes a lot at Super Bowl week, and some of the questions they get asked start to get a little repetitive. So after head coach Mike Macdonald's press conference, we just figured, let's answer all we can at once.
What's your analysis on the salmon race tonight? What does Humpy have to do to get win number 2?
Well, he wasn't in immediate availability today. I didn't see him at batting practice. I would think maybe if he was, getting some stretches in, some high knees, that sort of thing, some dynamic movement, then I'd, be feeling like maybe he could go back to back. The Washington State Cougars looked to put a bow on the regular season, hosting Wyoming on senior night. But the Cowboys came to town, pulled out a nail-biting last-minute victory, and handed the Cougs their third loss in a row. You always hear in baseball to have a bad memory, forget what just happened, and move on to the next. But it looked like the Toronto Blue Jays remembered games 1 and 2 of the ALCS pretty well, as they handed it right back to the Mariners in Game 3. We know the matchup between Washington State and Gonzaga has been and will be circled on the calendars of fans in the Inland Northwest. We're only 2 matchups in as conference foes, and the environment in Beasley Coliseum Wednesday was something like the Cougs haven't seen in a long time.
If you had to get cancer, I think the timing of it isn't terrible.
Gonzaga women's basketball head coach Lisa Fortier has moved from defense to offense in her breast cancer journey.
In remission, cancer-free, where do you fall on that timeline and spectrum?
I think I'm cancer-free, but I don't really know. It's like this funny thing. I think because for me, I had surgery and had the cancer removed. So that's what my husband and my kids remind me of all the time. Like when I say, well, I have cancer. They say, you don't have cancer anymore, Mom. Oh, you're right. I don't have cancer anymore.
It all started after finding a lump while in the shower.
We're all going to die at some point, and it's probably going to be something that I didn't think was coming.
But Lisa never thought the worst, even when the test results came back positive. She had cancer.
The day that you found out, just what was that like?
I excused myself from practice to get ice or use the restroom or something, and I figured out how to get into my chart. When I got to the point that said invasive carcinoma, I thought, that doesn't sound good. And so I screenshotted it and sent it to my general doctor and Dr. Gilbert, who'd been kind of walking through it with me a little bit. And both of them called me immediately. And so I was pretty sure that what I read was what I thought it was. I wasn't thinking clearly because I think I told Craig and my staff at the same time because they were all awaiting results as well.
I'm not necessarily someone who walks around and constantly thinks, why is this happening to me? But trying to just be really present and recognizing that each moment and each part of this is part of a process for a reason, and just trying to make sure that we recognized and learned as many of those things as we could along the way. Otherwise, then it is just something that's happening to you.
The support ran deep. Former players coming over to her house, bringing food, letting Lisa know that she mattered to them.
Some of the brightest spots in my last 6 or 8 months have been when our alums have come over to our house. They've been from everywhere. Kayla Standish was back in town from Australia, and we've got some West Siders and then the locals. And I've got to see Court and Ellie and Kiki, and it's just such a fun thing to be a part of someone's life like that and be a part of their life enough to where they want to be a part of mine too.
As for her 3 kids, it was 3 different ways of coping.
So the little 2 kids are immediately in tears. Quincy was worried about my hair. Let the bald eagle fly. I'm like, okay, here it is. I think Calvin the other day at the table, someone asked him what his favorite part about our family was, and he said that we could get through anything together. I was like in tears. I was like poking Craig, like, did you hear what he said?
The cancer was stage 2-3, and the next step was a double mastectomy. Lisa's life which changed.
The weight gain that comes with it, and then the hair loss, and then you had this surgery, and so there are parts of it that you feel. I mean, the other day I was like, I am a woman. Like I just don't. I don't always look like it right now, and you don't feel like it at different stages. There was a part of it where you feel kind of like, all right, you're taking on my female situation, like the things I identify with as a female.
The treatment process was not a total shock, as her best friend Kelly battled breast cancer years previous.
And I was kind of pleading with God, and I was thinking of Kelly and Coach Cross and my dad, and those guys specifically, and just thinking like, I'm never going to get through this.
But she did, thanks to so many people, including her assistant coach and husband, right by her side.
Actually kind of fun to go to like chemo together, because we would just watch movies, and I think he got a little jealous when friends came to chemo as well to be supportive, because he wanted to have that time to himself.
There's just people in your life that are built to handle certain things, and she's built to handle just about anything.
9 postseason appearances as head of the program, 8 Coach of the Year honors, and 1 supportive family. But Lisa's story isn't over yet.
It doesn't matter how many of these we have. Like these trophies are just a part too. Like they don't make me who I am, nor has cancer made me who I am. It contributes to the person that I am and the story that I will have at the end.
This is Marley. This is Kyle. And this is also Kyle. Marley Canales is a midfielder for Spokane Zephyr. Kyle Karros is an infielder for the Spokane Indians.
I heard that I was coming to Spokane and he was in Spokane. It's just really a small world that we ended up here.
They don't really know each other, but they do know Kyle Cuellar.
I was on the lake or something, Coeur d'Alene, and then Kyle swiped up and was like, no way, I'm coming out to Spokane.
He's Marley's boyfriend and Karros' former college teammate. They all played college ball at UCLA.
Being a different sports, like it's all the same to get to the next level. Like obviously playing at UCLA is a huge honor.
It's not just like if UCLA is a baseball powerhouse or a basketball, it's all the sports.
A small world.
He kind of showed me the ropes of Westwood in a lot of ways.
I feel like the women's soccer team and the UCLA baseball team were super close.
Made smaller by 2 athletes pursuing their professional dreams.
They've been talking and definitely want to get together and have us go to his games, and hopefully he can come out here to our games.
College didn't exactly bring them together, but Spokane did.
It's so different than any place I've ever been. So we've been exploring, and seeing Zephyr signs around the community has been so cool and exciting.
You'll notice within a couple weeks of playing here, you're going to have people yelling your name, asking for autographs, and they're going to be coming to see you.
As for the blue and gold crossover, it only goes as far as the respective field and pitch.
I would have told you I was going to play in MLS or something. Like, I loved soccer.
Did not know it was his second best sport. I would love to see him out here. I'd love to see what his level's like. I didn't even come close to ever touching a pitch.
When it comes to Spokane, none of them struck out. AJ Howell, SWX.
The Seattle Seahawks continue to go through their off-season training program. 1 more week of OTAs before mandatory minicamp starting on June 17th. Just like any season, there are new faces on the Seahawks roster, but one of their biggest off-season acquisitions is someone that folks in the Pacific Northwest know very well. Yakima native and Eastern Washington alum Cooper Kupp preparing to enter his 9th season in the NFL and first with the Seattle Seahawks. His quarterback Sam Darnold is also new to the Hawks and says getting to know Kupp now is the key to success come the fall.
It's getting to know kind of their body language and kind of how they're running routes, and then being able to talk to him, on and off the field, be able to, know what he's thinking in a route or versus, a certain coverage, trying to get behind the linebacker, or maybe he's going to throttle it down, like just little details like that. It's been great not only to talk to Coop about that kind of stuff, but all the guys.
The next time the Hawks will be out on the field is Monday. Tonight, the Seattle Mariners are starting a fresh series after getting swept by the Orioles, facing the Angels for 3 at their place. The M's just 1.5 games back from the Astros atop the AL West standings this weekend. A good opportunity. The Indians lost their footing as the Hillsboro Hops retake first place in the Northwest League Thursday night, but it's a new day and the series isn't over yet. First pitch just after 7. And more good news for former Spokane Indians. Shortstop Ryan Ritter, we saw here in 2023, has received his big league call-up in the wake of Ezekiel Tovar's injury. That's another former Spokane Indian. Ritter is batting over 300 this season with 16 home runs. This means around 15 guys on the Colorado active roster played in Spokane at some point. You might be thinking, AJ, they're part of the farm system, duh. But keep in mind, not everyone was drafted by the Rockies, and the way young talent is currently moving through, a lot of these guys were here in the last 2 to 3 years, meaning we have lengthy interviews with them before their big debuts on our website. That's swxlocalsports.com. And while you're there, you might see that we're airing the Indians games Saturday, not just on SWX, but also on KHQ, which is super exciting and unique that we're doing it. And you know, it's a pretty day, so you could stay off social media, record the game, go do something fun in the sun, come back and watch it once the sun's down.
Yeah, and watch me throw a baseball.
You're bringing out the first pitch? This is how I find out.